where Dr. Bones McCoy is during Star Trek Strange New Worlds. When Star Trek Strange New Worlds debuted, it brought audiences back to the golden age of the original series, to bright uniforms, bold adventures, and the early days of the USS Enterprise under Captain Christopher Pike. The prequel series reintroduced familiar faces like Spock and Uhura while filling in the blanks of Starfleet's mid-23rd century history. Yet for all the familiar names, one beloved character remains notably absent: Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy. The sardonic, warm-hearted physician remains one of Star Trek's most iconic figures, known for his irritable bedside manner and his unwavering humanity. But during the time of Strange New Worlds, which takes place roughly a decade before the original series, Bones is nowhere to be found on the Enterprise. So where is he? What was McCoy doing while Pike's crew carried out its early missions? And could Strange New Worlds be setting up his future arrival? Let's boldly go through what we know, and what might be true, about where Dr. McCoy is during the events of Strange New Worlds. The timeline, setting the stage for McCoy's future arrival. To locate Dr. McCoy's whereabouts, we have to pin down exactly when Strange New Worlds takes place. The series begins around the year 2259, about 7 years before Star Trek. The original series kicks off in 2266. At that point, Leonard McCoy is not yet aboard the Enterprise. According to established Star Trek canon, McCoy joins the Enterprise in 2266, shortly before Captain James T. Kirk takes command. When we first meet him in The Man Trap, he's already well established as the ship's chief medical officer, familiar with his captain, and deeply skeptical of transporters. But before that point, McCoy's life is largely a mystery, one of those corners of Star Trek history that's only been hinted at in passing dialogue, novels, and fan speculation. So during Strange New Worlds, McCoy hasn't yet met Kirk or Spock, hasn't been assigned to the Enterprise, and probably isn't even on the radar of Pike or Starfleet Command as a major figure. He's likely serving somewhere else in Starfleet, or perhaps not even on active duty at all. The canon hints what we know about McCoy's early career. McCoy's past is scattered across decades of Star Trek canon, but a few consistent details emerge. He was born in 2227 in Georgia, meaning that during the events of Strange New Worlds circa 2259, he'd be in his early 30s, a capable and experienced physician, but still early in his Starfleet journey. By the time of the original series, McCoy has been through a failed marriage, a daughter Joanna, and a stint of civilian medical practice before rejoining Starfleet. In the episode Friday's Child, he mentions having served on Capella IV years earlier, which places him in Starfleet medical operations before Kirk's Enterprise mission. Some of the Star Trek novels, which though not canon still influence fan interpretations, suggest that McCoy left Starfleet for a time after his marriage ended and only rejoined at the urging of his mentor. That would fit neatly with the Strange New Worlds timeline. McCoy could easily be in a transitional period in his life, working in a Federation hospital or frontier colony, far from the starship drama unfolding aboard Pike's Enterprise. Bones as a grounded healer during a turbulent time. If we imagine McCoy's life during this period, the best way to understand it is to see him where he belongs, with people, not machines. Even in later years, McCoy was the quintessential old-school doctor, a man who preferred a stethoscope to a tricorder and who cursed at the very notion of being beamed anywhere. In contrast to Pike's cutting-edge crew, full of engineers, scientists, and officers eager to explore the edge of the galaxy, McCoy likely spent his early years dealing with the everyday struggles of life in the Federation. Perhaps he was stationed on an inner-world starbase, helping frontier settlers, or working in a medical facility on Earth, treating miners, colonists, or refugees displaced by Klingon and Romulan conflicts. His disillusionment with modern technology and bureaucracy might have started here. Imagine a young McCoy rolling his eyes at arrogant Starfleet admirals or advanced medical AIs that don't understand bedside manner. These early frustrations would later define him, the doctor who insists that no matter how far humanity travels, compassion will always be its greatest tool. Thematic parallels. M'Benga as a bridge to McCoy. Interestingly, Strange New Worlds already contains a brilliant setup for McCoy's eventual role, Dr. Joseph M'Benga. Played by Babs Olusanmoken, Mabenga serves as the Enterprise's chief medical officer during Pike's era. In the original series, Mabenga appears as a secondary physician under MC Coy, suggesting a natural handoff in the years between Pike and Kirk. Mabenga's storylines in Strange New Worlds, from his trauma as a war doctor during the Klingon conflict to his emphasis on compassion over clinical detachment, mirror many of the qualities fans associate with MC Coy. The two doctors are philosophical opposites to Spock's logic, grounding the ship's moral compass in humanity. This narrative symmetry almost feels intentional. The show could easily be using Mabenga's character to pave the way for MC Coy, gradually shifting the tone of Starfleet medicine toward the cranky Southern doctor we all know and love. When Mabenga eventually leaves or retires, it would make perfect sense for Starfleet to assign a doctor like MC Coy, someone capable, but also human in every sense, to replace him. The possibility of a cameo. Could MC Coy appear in Strange New Worlds? Given the timeline, a younger Leonard MC Coy cameo is absolutely possible, and arguably overdue. Strange New Worlds has made a habit of reintroducing younger versions of legacy characters, from Spock and Uhura to Scotty's surprise appearance at the end of Season 2. If the show continues bridging the gap toward the original series, MC Coy feels like the next natural addition. By Season 4 or 5, if the show reaches that far, the timeline will be brushing right up against 2265, the year Kirk takes command of the Enterprise. That would be the perfect opportunity to introduce a young MC Coy, perhaps as a Starfleet surgeon or medical researcher brought aboard temporarily for a mission, only to later stay on permanently under Kirk. Casting him would be a delicate challenge. DeForest Kelley's original performance remains iconic, and Karl Urban's portrayal in the Kelvin Timeline films was so pitch-perfect that many fans would love to see him reprise a variant role, even a holographic mentor cameo. Still, Strange New Worlds could introduce a new actor to carry the torch, one who captures MC Coy's dry humor, southern charm, and quiet empathy. Imagine the scene. A young doctor steps onto the Enterprise's bridge, muttering under his breath about crazy starship cowboys and damn transporters. It would instantly feel like Star Trek coming full circle. Why MC Coy's absence still makes sense. While fans might miss MC Coy's wit and moral clarity, his absence in Strange New Worlds actually works from a storytelling perspective. The show's writers have built a clear thematic distinction between Pike's Enterprise and Kirk's. Pike's crew represents idealism and optimism, while Kirk's embodies maturity and hard-won experience. MC Coy, as a character, fits perfectly in that later, more conflicted world. His skepticism, weariness, and humor play beautifully off the optimism of Kirk and Spock. In Pike's crew, where optimism still reigns and the tragedies of the future haven't yet struck, MC Coy's tone might feel out of place, too grounded, too human, too aware of the cost of exploration. In that sense, MC Coy belongs to the next chapter of Starfleet's story,